What's up, y'all? This is your girl, Kenya Yvette, and you're watching another episode of Sass in the City.
And I am Marcy. Please watch us, follow us on all platforms, Sass in the City 8.
It's me, your girl, Shannon, a.k.a. Nino. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Absolutely.
And I am Shireen, and those that know me call me Reen. Please leave comments in the section to let us know what topics you would like to hear.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. What's going on, ladies? How y'all feeling?
Cold.
Absolutely. In
cold
California, Los Angeles.
We got snow. That's not cool.
No, not at all.
I loved it, actually. I don't know. I mean, the hailing, is always just fascinating to me.
Did
To
it
hear
snow
pebbles.
at your house?
No.
Like the flurries coming down.
No.
Okay, that's what was happening out here in the IE.
Oh, yeah.
You could build a snowman.
Wow.
That's fun.
It's
That's
fun
fun.
to watch. This is California. They be lying. It never rains. It rains. And it snows.
It never rains in Southern California.
That's where they're lying.
That's what they tell me.
It's lying the whole
I love it. No, but it was awesome, though. It's just for the moment. But then after a while,
Yeah.
waking up at 7 in the morning, honey.
This cold is not it.
I had heater
Not
on
the
and the
business
oven.
at
You
all.
understand me?
And what you doing to keep warm?
Oh, that sounds
Lots of
like
good covers.
Wait a
Lots of
minute.
good
Let me
covers.
That sounds like
say,
you was basically frying in some tea.
Yeah, every
Well, pretty
episode, no lie, I get, oh, that's how you feel?
Oh.
That's what you're saying? I'm like, what's the problem, guys? So when you guys say stuff, oh, you've been called out. You've been
That's when the
thrown out
DMs go
the-
up. They
oh,
got questions for
yeah.
you, Marcy.
Well,
Yeah,
speaking of questions,
why?
we've had some comments, ladies and gentlemen. Nick,
He started
as far as the last couple of episodes, I've gotten some personal phone calls. Okay,
They want to be your wife, Nick.
and they are
They want to be number 2.
man, your number 2 coming through.
Won't he do it?
Yeah, well, first of all, this is basically with the double standards versus for Nick, okay? And one of the comments was like the 10 Commandments one basically lists not male or female, but according to the 10 Commandments, it says thou shalt not commit adultery. So according to the episode that just recently dropped, episode 7, you shared that your rib cannot sleep with another person. However, you have multiple wives if you choose to.
Oh, she can sleep with whoever she likes to sleep with.
But she can't come back.
But you said it's a wrap,
Correct.
verbally.
Correct. Yeah, but adultery, if you're going by biblical standards, adultery according to the Bible, you can find the definition in the Bible. It only referring to a married man. Oh, I'm
Man?
I'm sorry, a married woman. So I can't approach a man's wife.
Who says that?
the
It's a-
Bible. he
like
said.
Right.
with the Bible,
So if you're
where
saying-
would we find that the sex is specifically referring to the woman
So-
when it comes to the 10 Commandments?
If you read about adultery in not the 10 Commandments, if you read about
Oh, okay.
adultery in the Bible, what they're calling adultery, they're only calling adultery is when a married woman sleeps with another man. They never refer to adultery being a man sleeping with a married man sleeping with a woman.
And you're speaking with the content that we're reading
Correct.
in the Bible.
Correct.
So what do you think is the 10 Commandments addressing? Is that for both sex? Is that for us?
No, that is for a man should never covet another man's wife. People start wars over that.
Yeah, they do.
Like whole countries fight each other
They do.
for sleeping with or taking another man's wife. They're not gonna fight for 2 men having 1 woman. Like ain't no woman finna start no war because her man got another woman. If he has enough money, she'll just deal with it.
Right.
It doesn't matter how much
I
money
mean,
you
I
have,
don't
a
know
man's
about
not
in
gonna- I'm
in
not
this
gonna
world.
deal
There's
with
cat fights all day long.
it. It could be a cat fight.
For
but-
sure.
but I'm
Women,
saying-
A
we
war.
go
war.
in, which a lot of times I don't agree with that. Even back in school, remember, Rini? I mean, I was one of them back in the day because my boyfriend was wild. But I'm just saying, I was, Rini, remember?
Yes, I do.
Well, what?
Okay,
What
so
did you do?
it
What?
was a situation, my boyfriend was just out there recruiting, and I'm his girlfriend. And I figured out, like, you checking for this girl, Si. basically had words for her. But it became more as I got older and mature that it's not really the woman that you should really attack. It's not the women you should really even address. It's the man, because that's the loyalty, that's the commitment that you have with them. So I feel women don't really agree with it either.
But I guess it can be a twofold, because if the man is messing with a woman that the woman knows he is with you, then yes, I'm always tactful about what I say, and I say it's not what you say, it's how you say it. But I think a woman should address a woman, because I think that's pretty shady. But what you don't know, you don't know. So yes, it's always addressed to the man.
So
Wow. So you feel like it's both. You go to the girl too. I get it. Let's get it. I get it.
If she knew that he was already in a relationship with a specific, the woman.
So
me.
you feel like,
hello,
Barbara,
well, let me
this is
remind you
Shirley.
who I am.
Right.
Yeah, I feel you, Rini.
You know, that's shady.
What?
Hello.
Hello, Barbara. This is Shirley.
This is Shireen.
You know them, what she say? You know them clothes he
Yes.
wearing? How about that?
But
That
to go
car he
back-
driving? How about that?
To go back to answer the viewer's question about the 10 Commandments.
Yes.
So basically, what I understand is that you would break down these commandments when it says thou shalt not commit adultery. And when you look at adultery in the Bible, he's saying that it specifically is talking to the women. So when you see it in the 10 Commandments, it's basically addressing us.
Interesting.
not
Yeah.
So that's basically the answer.
That's
to
what he's.
what the
That's what
viewer-
Nick has responded. So.
Correct.
Okay. So if
Yeah.
you guys have any more questions,
Well,
that you
I mean,
wanna-
that's interesting, because I really looked at the 10 Commandments as it being for both male and female, because it doesn't specify for me. I looked at it, I reviewed it, and it has down that shouldn't steal.
I divorced
Kill.
based on that.
So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I get that. And I feel like even when you're married, that's your out
Yes.
for male or female, because if your man cheated, you can divorce. That's an out. Even in church, pastors agree, give you passes on that, right?
Also say don't be a fool.
Anywho, we needed your term and your response to that, Nick. Thank you very much, sir.
Absolutely.
What
And by the
else?
way, it's 613 commandments.
I do
FYI.
understand.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I sure didn't review that this weekend. Okay, cool. Thank you, baby.
Nothing.
Appreciate that. All right. And we're moving right along, because we
Was there
definitely have
one
a
more
guest that's
question?
coming up. We definitely have a wonderful guest that actually is going to be joining us, which I'm very excited about. But we do have one more comment that I have to address, and this is from Miss Marcy.
Okay, Marcy's World. You want to get in Marcy's World?
No.
Okay, now this is basically
don't
what it
want
is
to
about
get in my
Marcy,
world.
and I didn't respond to it obviously because I'd rather you do it on the platform. But what it is more or less, there was a gentleman that was listening to us for the last 3 episodes and has noticed that you basically have been open to share that you do have several men that you date. Okay, so with the several men that you date, you basically are just considered single and choosing to do you. Why would you not think a man would not think you're with another man if you're not answering your phone? That was the question. I'm just the messenger.
This has to be someone that I
Testing
know.
the
This
water.
has to be
I'm just
someone I
testing
In
know.
the water, Mark.
Right.
I'm
That's
just
what this
passing
is
the
right
message,
here.
baby.
So, I am single. If I choose to go on dinner date, lunch date, go out of town, I'm going to do that. If you're not serious about me and you don't make it clear to me that we're on another level, if I don't answer my phone, it doesn't mean I'm with another man. I could be with my children. I could be working. I could be the podcast. I could be with the girls, marketing. I could be doing all kinds of stuff. So,
You could just possibly not be answering your phone.
because
And that's
I
your
don't
choice.
want to answer at that very moment.
Or she
See,
sees
here-
your name on the display.
And it say do not disturb.
No,
You don't
here's
wanna
the thing.
talk? No, I'm just
Here's the thing. In the past 3 months, I have been going through a lot of losses in my life, a lot of challenges. I'm kind of emotional and fragile, so I don't want to put that on anyone else. So
How
if I
about
don't
that?
answer my phone, it's not necessarily I'm with a man or doing dirt or sleeping or whatever you guys have me out there doing. And I know, I think I know who this is with this comment. But I'm addressing you.
Mm.
Oh,
I am busy or I don't want to put my shit on you, so I'm not going to answer and have you stressed out or talk to you rudely, say some things that I'm probably going to regret because my mouth. I'm working on it.
But how about send her a text and just say, hey, how you doing? I'm just checking in on you.
Yeah, and how about you being patient and waiting for her to call you back? It's called voicemail. It's called a text message, like Renee said.
And don't call me back to back to back. I will get to you. I
really
promise you.
you really
know who
it is.
I know who it is.
We know
And
who
they
you
probably
are.
couldn't wait to do this.
Thank you, Marcy.
Yeah.
Thank you very much,
And
baby.
that is Marcy's world.
Okay, moving right along, y'all. So has anything happened this week you guys want to share? How's everything been going, you guys? Just checking the temperature. Is everything good?
Yeah, I got this new sassy little dude.
I like your Bobby Baba.
My daughter was on me. She called me Barbara. Bob the Builder. Bobby Brown.
Baba, Barbara,
Dora the Explorer.
Oh, Dora the Explorer.
It's fine.
That's a good one.
Cool,
But it's cute on you.
It is.
I like it.
Thank you.
I like it. Nothing new on the sun.
Work is all, and just
Yeah.
making it through the crazy place.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And weather's supposed to be doing better next week, so we're looking forward to warmer weather.
And if it don't get there, I'm moving.
To where? Because girl, Texas
so
got
tell
it.
the weather people, whoever is in charge of that springing forward and falling back and the snow, count your days.
Yeah.
They're
I'm sick
wrong
of
on the
you.
weather. Shoot.
The weather has been different because the West Coast has been really receiving East Coast weather, and the East Coast been receiving West Coast weather. So it's all.
And we
up
don't
and
like
down.
it, weather people.
Yeah.
Stop.
Switch it back.
Well, we need it. We need the rain, you know.
We truly
Not
do.
this many
the rain.
days.
All in one day.
need
Just do
the
it from the
rain.
AM to the AM and be done.
Right.
Nice
Right.
being home last
Right.
weekend with all that rain.
It made me want to snuggle and cuddle and keep the fireplace on. And anywho,
Yep.
all right, y'all.
Let's go.
Are y'all ready for
We are
first
ready.
guest?
Let's bring on
This
these
is
queens.
actually, I'm actually going to give it to Rini to just bring to the awareness of what this month is. Rini?
So this month is Women's History Month.
Yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
we are all powerful women in our own nature. We all got our own things going. So with that, we have a guest who I thought would be amazing for this month of March.
Right.
And her name is Jouslynn. And Jouslynn is a good friend of mine. And Jouslynn has a lot of things going on. She has lit fire under me to get me more involved in doing more. So I would like to bring Jouslynn on to discuss what she has going as a great, phenomenal Black woman.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to Sass in the City.
Hey.
We are back, people.
Back
And
like
we
we
have
never
a phenomenal guest. I'm excited, as we mentioned before the break. This is Women's Month of March. And we have the beautiful Jouslynn, who I'm going to introduce you to and give you the floor. Thank you.
Welcome, Jouslynn.
Welcome.
Thank you. Well, first of all, I want to congratulate SAS in the city.
That's us.
Yes. This is an amazing platform. I
Thank
love that
you.
you all are giving voice to women's issues, which is something that I'm actually very passionate about. A brief bio on me.
Yes, tell
I
us about
am a
yourself.
human resources professional, but everybody has a side hustle nowadays.
Yes.
So what I'm doing as a result of the racial unrest during the George Floyd murder and the Breonna Taylor murder, I started a business which focuses on diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Nice.
And in many situations, when we talk about DEI, which is diversity, equity, and inclusion, Black women or Latina women are excluded from those conversations. So in my work in DEI, I focus on centering Black women. And with Shireen, or Reen, I am a member of the executive committee of the NAACP, and we're taking on a campaign that will be addressing adultification bias. And as Kenya mentioned, it is March, which is Women's History Month. But I want to call out that we're also on the heels of ending Black History Month.
Yes.
And if you know, Black women were excluded out of the Civil Rights Movement. Now, we were there, we just weren't in the forefront.
Yes.
So, for example, everyone knows that Mahalia Jackson is the one who shouted out, "Tell him about the dream, Martin," right? And so when Martin Luther King was presented that "I Have a Dream" speech, it was not on the agenda for him to go into that speech. It was a Black woman who told him to tell them about the dream.
Isn't it always us?
Always. We are always right there. And to your point, Kenya, we were also not in front of the women's suffrage movement. And so as we celebrate the 19th Amendment and Women's History Month, Black women have never gotten their credit for that movement either. But you know, we were right there helping with the campaigns and preparing all of the literature for the march. We just were not able to march with those white women. And so there's a reason why Malcolm X said that the Black woman is the most disrespected, neglected, and unprotected woman. And that's why I'm bringing awareness to adultification bias.
Thank you,
Well, you
John.
have said it all. I love that.
That was some power
and energy.
I want to really
I
thank you.
appreciate that. You mentioned adultification. That's not a word that we hear all the time. Can you explain to us what adultification is?
Yes, absolutely, Nino. Thank you for asking. So adultification bias is where Black girls are treated more harshly and punitively compared to their white counterparts. And the bias that Shireen and I will be addressing through the NAACP is particular to Black girls in institutions. So that's in our school system and that's in our criminal justice system. What caused me to go on this awareness campaign is that my daughter was treated unfairly at her middle school. And she was called in for questioning. She's not a suspect. She didn't do anything. She wasn't even a witness. But the way in which the police department treated her was unfair to me. And they treated her as though she was a criminal. They treated her as though she was the perpetuator of something that happened, when really all she was a little girl, right? She's 13. She was a little girl answering some questions for the police in her school.
School did not call you.
I was just getting ready to ask that.
As a parent present.
Mom, this is the situation.
Thank you. Thank
Where
you for
did
asking
where
that.
did the cops come in? If it happened at school?
It happened
Where did
at
the cops
school.
come in at?
And so the school principal, who is what I refer to as the CEO of the school, she called in the police. And the school policy does dictate that middle school students should have their parents present
Absolutely.
when they are questioned by the police. And there is some room in the policy to interpret if there's like immediate and present danger. The principal does not have to, but at this time there was no immediate and present danger. And I stand 10 toes down on
Yes.
that because there's body cam that you can see. There were multiple police officers in front of the school, you know, just kind of talking and shooting the breeze. And so what had happened is when she was questioned on the body worn cam, I could see that my 13-year-old baby was referred to as ma'am.
Oh.
She's a child. She's not a man, right? And so I could see that she was not protected in that conversation. And so when I called in to the principal, I told her, hey, I want to make sure that my daughter's physical, emotional, and mental health are taken care of. And I talked to the police officers at that time. They didn't hear me. So Bell Hooks says that most people have never listened to a Black woman speak for more than 30 minutes. So when I had the interaction with the officer, I knew that he wasn't listening. He just kind of wanted to get me off the phone. I said, that's all right. I'll handle this later. So I hung up the phone, told the principal that she didn't adhere to her policy. And then I said, I'll call the superintendent and I'll call the city manager and the chief of police.
I know that's
which
right.
is what I did. So working together with Shireen, we are putting together a campaign, to your point, that will address first my daughter, right? My daughter went through what's called a community police academy where she interacted with police officers, and it was like an 8-week program because I didn't want her first interaction with police to be negative.
Right.
Although it was.
Yeah.
You see, we did our part.
Right.
But I still need to let her know that she has agency over this situation. So part of the campaign will teach children what their rights are. Call your parent, call your guardian. You don't have to answer any questions until someone is there. But then also to educate adults on what adultification is. See, we've all been guilty of saying, look at them little girls over there being fast, right? Or when we see a young, handsome baby boy, we say, oh, he's going to be a heartbreaker, right?
Label on him already.
Exactly. Rihanna was in the news for saying her baby is fine. And we get it. We know that she's showing love to her son. But there are negative impacts that when black babies, when brown babies go out into our communities, the institutions adultify them in a way that causes harm to them. All of this adultification as it relates to black girls is rooted in 4 stereotypes. And that's why I love that you guys titled your platform and your podcast, Sass in the City. The 4 stereotypes that we are experiencing in this world are 1, Sapphire, and that's the sassy, right? That's the, this one right here, she'll give it to you. The Mamie, right? And you've seen Mamie in various movies, the heavy-set black woman who could solve all of the white people's problems, even though she was probably enslaved, didn't have no money, and didn't have a choice. Like when you look at The Help, what is Viola Davis doing in The Help? Her son is experiencing trauma, and she has to cater and make sure that this white woman's fried chicken is cooked properly, right? And so those are stereotypes that have been perpetuated onto black women that do cause harm. Now, Sass, the way you've taken it and turned it something into a positive is amazing. And that's also what we did with the strong black woman stereotype. That stereotype was created because we had experienced so many negative images in the media and in our churches. We can talk about it in our churches and in our schools, that we also turned that stereotype around and we came up with the strong black woman stereotype. So that's what
black women all the time.
Listen, one thing I can't do is change the skin, right? And so what we're doing is we're giving agency to black girls to understand that there's a reason why your teachers speak to you that way. There's a reason why law enforcement approaches you in the way that they can. I know y'all have seen in the news these middle school students, these girls being arrested and handcuffed and thrown into the back of the police cars. That's because they're treating our babies as though they're adults. And we can get into the history of slavery and what that means, but I'm gonna just need y'all to come to the event once we put that together so we can talk about the details.
We're definitely going to be a part of that.
Awesome. That would be great.
Would love for us to come out just to support you. So say, for instance, of course, you explaining this, how can the community get involved? How do we support you
and support it and make it bigger and bigger
to be able to make this more broad?
Thank you for asking that. I appreciate that, Kenya. So, like I said, we will be putting together a training for the educators as well as the police officers. And what we've done is we've broken this event or this campaign, if you will, into 3 different components. One is the share, because once y'all start to think about adultification bias, you will have a story that you can share. My story is, and listen, I had these little bitties since I started developing. I had a high school teacher ask me in the 9th grade if I was pregnant. My body is still developing, and this black woman throws that. I'm trying to do math. And I focus on my math. Listen,
what you looking at?
Look, still can't do math. But call me.
But you got this on lock, though.
What you focus on me?
Exactly. Call me to the front of the class, and it was a quiet conversation. But nevertheless, she still approached me in that manner in class. So now I had to go through the rest of the day, like, why is this woman
mess with your whole mental mental health.
Exactly.
I understand that.
Exactly. So we all have stories of where we've experienced adultification, and the purpose of the share component is for us to share those stories to see how they have impacted us.
Right.
And then we have the learn component where we will do a deep dive into the history of slavery and how young Black girls' bodies were really prepared to create more slaves, right? They were created so that the system of slavery could thrive. And after that, because you know Black folks love a good party, we're going to celebrate, and we're going to celebrate what it means to be a Black girl. We're going to celebrate what it means to be a Black woman, and then we're going to do it over and over and over. I will speak about it. Come on,
and
that's
reverse this trauma.
I love
because
it.
that's what it is.
It is
And we don't even
basically
realize
what it is.
because a lot of us don't know the history, and especially the younger, they don't know.
Yes.
And a lot of us now are just now learning. And like, why is it like that? Because it's embedded in our DNA. Just like the white people do what they do, and I'm not a racist. Like you may be a nice one, and your grandfather may be too, but you kind of default into that racism because it's embedded in their DNA, and they don't even know why. But if you get a clear picture of history, then you could start breaking generational curses so that we can't carry this thing out. And we're going to celebrate us.
Yes.
Well, no,
Thank
keep
you.
the awareness going, because like I said, if we don't talk about it or do something about it, then nothing's going to get done. We can have those family dinners and those dinner tables where we're keeping it right here and everybody's talking amongst their family in their house when it's not abroad. And it just basically we need to be taken out of the houses and into these other homes and platforms such as this one, so people become more aware of what's going on and making a difference. We just make a difference, for
and
us
not
to
just be
able to
reminded
heard.
how we got beat down and treated bad, because there are some big moments that we need to celebrate. And
Absolutely.
we don't do that.
Well, I'm with it, and I just want to use this platform because I can. I'm just happy the fact that us being minorities and of color, beautiful skin shades as we are, that we haven't just tipped the table. We could be walking around just on 10 just for whatever has happened to us and our ancestors. Period. And we have no temper to that default. And I commend us, just to say, because I would be pissed.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, if you think about it, wouldn't you be pissed?
I think some of
We
us are.
all-
We don't even know
Yes,
why.
exactly.
But the ones of us who have mastered not being pissed, kudos to
Just
us.
to know what
and we're
we've
gonna
been through
educate our
as a
sisters.
culture, to me, is what's so hurting. You know what I'm saying? And just to use us and feel that we can be of servant to you, and you're just going to pull us from our heritage and our place of living and put us on a boat and just put us to work for you. We're
built
human
this
beings.
country.
Like, how dare you? You know what I'm saying?
And not
we
just
should
that
be
we were
looking
here.
like,
Yes,
Black
that part.
Rambos walking around just with our gear just ready to go. That's what I'm feeling. So I just want to say, as a Black woman, I commend us for our grace and for us having platforms such as Jouslyn's to be able to spread the word. So that's my tea on that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Jouslynn,
Absolutely.
Yes.
Some information. You're awesome.
Thank you.
So
Thank
you have a daughter, son?
Oh,
children do you have?
I have 3 children.
Okay.
Yes,
Oh,
20,
awesome.
28, 25, and 13.
And just like to add in, our beautiful Black sister Jocelyn's daughter was Pasadena Rose Queen. So kudos to the Black woman walking down that Rose Queen.
You were there from the beginning. Yeah, that was fun.
That's right. Queen.
So my question was, you being a mom,
Mm-hmm.
how do you handle all your projects, the mom, talking to your children about what you're talking to us today about? Like, how does your children feel about what you do?
That's a great question. So my older children, they grown. So I don't really talk to them about adultification. My daughter is in Chicago and my son is working a lot. But my 13-year-old, I am working really hard with her to make sure that she understands how to stand up for herself, how to advocate for herself, how to show agency
Right.
in class. Yes, and so that's really right now where the focus is with her, so that the next time something like this happens, she has some more power, and so how she can.
I love it. I love
But I
that you
want to
use the word
add
agency.
we did a meeting, and we had the meeting and had the powers that be sort of say at this meeting, and Jouslyn's 2 girls was there. It was a very emotional meeting for all, even those who were not directly affected by it. But Jouslyn's older daughter definitely had her sister's back in that moment, in that meeting, and calling out what it was to the powers that be. You know, you treating black girls different. You know, you're not treating white girls this way. Right. You know, so it was a powerful meeting. It was meaningful, and we got work to do. We're not stopping.
Yep.
You know, this is the beginning, and we're going to educate everybody. Everybody needs to understand what the adultification is, but us as women, you know, we got to own our power.
Amen.
We do.
That.
We do. Absolutely.
And if there's anything I can do, we can do to help, please reach out. I'm willing to help out any way I can.
Absolutely. I will too.
And do you have any, do you have a contact where like the listeners and the viewers can actually say, okay, well, I want to be a part of that, or I want to promote that? Where would they go to find you? Where how could they get involved?
Thank you for asking, Nino. So the best way to follow the Adultification Bias campaign would be to go onto IG, and the handle is really simple. It's WIN, WIN, Pasadena. And that's basically the committee that Shireen and I are on and that I chair that will be leading this cause in the Pasadena area. There's a lot of data and statistics. It's been very well researched and studied. And so we'll be pushing out information on that platform. So follow us on IG at WIN Pasadena.
And please just let them know what WIN stands for.
Women in NAACP.
Yes.
I love that.
That's us.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
You guys are doing some good work.
Thank you. Thank you.
We do have a lot of work to do, you know, and like you said, SAS is in the building.
Yes, SAS
You
is in the
understand?
building.
We will
Exactly.
support you on all causes, and like I say, I'll definitely have the information dropped on this segment, so we can actually have an IG handler page for you, definitely, so people know how to find you, and that way we know what's up and coming. So I don't know if you guys have like a newsletter, but I know everything is on IG for us to be able to know what's next, what's coming up, and what we can do to support you guys.
Thank you. Yeah, it'll all be there.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Jess.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Renee.
No, I have no last questions. I just want to encourage y'all ladies to keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
It's refreshing to see ladies who I know and whom I'm connected with addressing these very important issues and topics.
Absolutely.
So go ahead and do what you do and continue to put your sass on it. We love
Absolutely.
it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching Sass in the City. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care.
Hey, thanks for watching Sass in the City. Be sure to share, subscribe, and sass with us.